Good morning, traders, and welcome back to the Trader Bacon Show. I am your host, Gates Adams, and welcome to the final episode of 2024. We're going to do things a little bit different today. I don't have a guest. I'm going to share with you guys some of the things that I've been doing, working on, some of the things that Apex has been working on, and I would love to interact with you guys. So, I've got the chat up, and I would love to hear from you guys as we go through today's episode. But first and foremost, want to do a couple of things as usual. Want to make sure that we recognize the winners from the last show, the last episode 2 weeks ago, of the three evaluations were Enrique, Jerry, and Richard. Congratulations to you all. I know everything's already gone out on that. We will be giving away 3 new evaluations as well today. So make sure to fill out the form. We'll be in the comments here in just a moment. So make sure you get those filled out before the end of the show to be eligible to win one of those. As we recap this year, we've got something special that we've put together for you. And I know it was almost a little emotional for me when I first watched this montage of what the last year of the Trader Bacon Show has looked like. So much has happened, so much has grown, so much has changed. And really and truly, I'm so grateful to all of you for being the reason that I get to do this every day. And I'll touch more on that here in just a few minutes. But before we get too deep into today's show, let's take a look back at the last year of Trader Bacon Show. Good morning, traders, and welcome back to the Trader Bacon Show. I'm your host, Gates Adams, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon on today's episode of the Trader Bacon Show.
What was the life that I could have an extra 5 hours a day that I could change my own life and also my loved ones as well? I think the trading career, it will be flexible schedule that I'm able to take care of my family and try to bring income to the family at the same time.
I actually started trading in 2021. I was introduced to this thing called Forex, and that's kind of where my journey began.
I've been dealing in the markets for about 3-4 years now. I started off with the AMC pop that everybody was jumping on board for. I got burned my first jab at it. I made a second attempt and I got really lucky. Made a little over 200,000 in about 5 days.
Been around trading for a while. You've seen the good and the bad and the ugly of it. Trading is not always good fun, but I would say to everyone who's watching, trading is not easy, but it is simple.
And then I go back, once I calm down, pick up the mouse, I look at everything, all of my bad trades. In every single bad losing trade, I didn't follow my system. There's no finance PhDs on my wall. I didn't go to any business college. I'm a fireman. I tell people there's no barriers of entry into this kind of stuff.
And you have to be aware what's in your mind and what's going on in your emotions. So when I know that trigger come in, I always have another language to remind myself. If I break the rule, I lose my house.
Part of your strategy needs to be giving yourself time. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if a hedge fund guy is just giving you the keys to the kingdom in terms of do this, do that, and then this will work. You need to give yourself time to take things on a step at a time.
As much as I don't like to be, I'm primarily a scalper. I do like letting the trade run and breathe, but I'm an impatient person by nature, so I don't like being in the trade for more than a couple of minutes if I don't have to be.
This indicator right here is called the ADX and DI right here. Mm-hmm. It's a average directional index. Directional index is just trend and direction. So
once you start building up, then, start increasing that. If you want to get up and say, I want to make $1,000 a day, great. But start small. Bunch of different prop firms out there. I looked at a bunch of them. Apex, I liked the rules that they had. I thought it worked for me better.
I'm not a fully processed trader. I'm an in-process trader. I am getting paid from Apex. Thank you, Apex. I love you guys. I just came on in September and I'm coming up on my 5th payout, which is wonderful. And I'm enjoying the process here.
Well, I'm already traveling thanks to Apex and day trading. I took my wife this year to Puerto Rico for her birthday.
Thanks for joining us today. This is as always, just such a pleasure to share my Monday with all of you out there. That was unbelievable. And I want to thank Malia and the crew, my producer, and the crew behind the scenes that were able to put that together. Like I said, that was a little emotional for me to watch, just seeing everything that just snippets of what's been going on over the course of the last year. Yes, we've had a lot of opportunities to celebrate the victories. Certainly, we've had some trainers and coaches on, but for the most part, these are just everyday traders, just like you and me, who are going through the process, who have made it to a certain level, and really and truly, I have to say, and I'll share a little bit of my story with you guys. I've shared some of my story before on the show, and so I'm not going to go into full detail, but I want to share how the show has impacted my life and my trading, which has always been my hope for all of you out there, that ultimately the show is bringing value in a way that helps get you where you want to go in the world of trading. And just for a quick recap, about 27-ish years ago, 26, 27 years ago, I started trading. I had a really rough experience my first time out. I was trading my mother's money recently after she had been widowed, after my dad passed away. And after making just a tremendous amount of money in a matter of a few short months to the tune of almost 700 grand, I ended up losing about $1 million, including all of the equity in our house. That has left a lot of scars for me in the world of trading. And I've gotten to the point where I can talk about it without it necessarily having that deep impact effect on my mindset when I trade, which has been a big journey for me. But it has absolutely created a lot of challenges for me in terms of getting past some of the emotional triggers that trading creates. And so over the course of the last 2 years, now this was about 27 years ago. And that's not to say that I've been trading for 27 years. I've sporadically entered back into the world of trading since then, but I've really been effectively trading for about 2 years now, and really only gotten very, very serious about it in the last 10 months. And really what this has boiled down to is the beginning of last year, beginning of 23, I made the decision that I was going to start trading. I was going to stream my trading. I was going to put full force effort and trade consistently, and I did. And I struggled through all of last year to the point where in November of last year, I decided to quit. I was done. I was no longer going to be a trader, which was not the first time I had quit, hopefully the last time. But I was continuing to do this show, and I was continuing to interview traders for Apex, is some of the testimonials and things that we do with some of the successful traders. And one of the things that I realized, and I can't express this strongly enough, the message that I received from this process is that it's not an overnight success deal. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort, it takes a very consistent focus, especially when you have a background like mine where I had just, unfortunately, a lot of repeated evidence that I was a struggling trader, that it was just, I had to get past some of those just internal struggles. And so last year I had basically passed evaluations a couple of times, I guess really once, but a few evaluations at once. And by the time I'd quit in November, that was it. When I decided to get back in, because of the motivation that I got from doing the show and talking to these traders on such a regular and consistent basis, and seeing the fact that maybe I wasn't behind the curve, I just hadn't given it enough time and energy and the right level of attention. In February, I decided that I was going to go ahead and come back in, but I was going to take a different approach. I hired a trading coach. By the way, hats off to Kevin. I don't know if you're watching this right now. Kevin was my first trading coach, and the basis and the foundation of my growth this last year came from him. And in fact, if you haven't had an opportunity to do so, he now hosts a trading show on Benzinga here on Wednesdays. If you haven't seen that yet, be sure to check him out. Unfortunately, I can't give you the day and time. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me, but look for that on Wednesdays. He is amazing and such a phenomenal guy, and has just had such a positive impact on my trading growth over the course of this last year. Now, as I took on this particular approach, I started working with him in February. By May, I had passed my first evaluation this year. And since then, James, Happy New Year's. Thanks, brother. This year, I have now passed, I think, upwards of 25 evaluations. I currently have 5 $50,000 PA accounts. So I'm funded at 250 grand, which is a new high for me. I'm still working through some of that back end. I've gotten to the point where I'm pretty good at passing the evaluations, and then I kind of sort of have that meltdown on the back end once they're funded. And I'm working through some of that, and that's going to be my big push for this year. But one thing that I know, and one thing that I can absolutely see because of the progress that I've made in the last 10 months of operating this way with such a focus and attention to my own growth as a trader, I know that payout and that consistent level of growth is still moving forward for me. So yeah, I'm still struggling like many of you are. And I just want to encourage you, there's no finish line here, right? So while I have struggled, while I have fed the beast a few times with evaluations and new PAs that I've had to replace, I can absolutely see the light at the end of the tunnel there. So I'm super, super excited for the continued growth and development as we continue into 2025. This is going to be a phenomenal year. So I hope that you guys will stick with the process and stick with the show and continue to chime in. Now, I wanted to share a few exciting things that are coming up in the world of Apex trader funding. And the first is a platform called Wealth Charts. And I'm actually going to show you right now. I have been beta testing. I've been one of like 2,700 beta testers who have been fighting through, basically working out all the bugs on this platform. And the reason that this has become such a focus, first and foremost, I want to say this system, this structure has been built from the ground up specifically for prop trading, where it's designed to be more user-friendly and copier-friendly, and I'll get into some of those details for prop traders. And we have a really incredible relationship with Rob Hoffman. He's actually been a guest on the show, who is the CEO of Wealth Charts. So the way that this has been built, and one of the really key factors here is, first and foremost, this structure is incredibly scalable. So for those of you who have experienced issues with too many people on the platforms, whether it be Rhythmic or Trade-Evade, yes, there have been technical issues. They have been unfortunately completely unavoidable based on the infrastructure of how they were built. Now, I think that everybody has done a phenomenal job at managing it the best that they could. But the way that Wealth Charts is built, it is built to be utterly scalable to the effect that if they went from 10,000 users to 50,000 users in a 24-hour period, that would scale effectively and eliminate and minimize any sort of technical issues and struggles that we've experienced with some of the other platforms in the past. This also offers full-blown charting. So as you can see here, this is my MNQ. I don't like to trade the big boys. I like to trade the micros. Simply because of where I am and the size of the accounts that I'm using. So with that in mind, there's a bunch of different, you've got all the basic formulas. You've got your drawing tools and of course your trading, your chart trading over here. It's an incredibly powerful structure. One of the things that I love about it is it's web-based and desktop. Being web-based, it is Mac-friendly. I'm a Mac guy. I trade on my Mac, which means that my only option in the past has really been, my only effective option in the past has been TradingView. And while I love TradingView, there have been some drawbacks for me. And one of the drawbacks is that, number one, I'm using the Apex Trade Copier, which functions within NinjaTrader. NinjaTrader is not Mac-friendly in the way that these are. So I have a PC running in the background with my Trade Copier. And then I have TradingView where I'm trading, and that creates a little bit of a struggle. That hasn't exactly been the most effective use. It's been pretty solid, but pretty solid is not exactly what we want as traders. And so what this structure, what the system has done is it has a built-in trade copier. You can see here now, of course, these are all test accounts as we've been beta testing. These aren't live accounts, but you can set up the trade copier and you can trade across any or all of your accounts. You can do ratios, so you can trade, 1-to-1 on one account, 3-to-1 on another. You can do a cross if you're charting on NQ, but you want to trade MNQ like I do, you can actually do a crossover. So if you take a trade on NQ, it's going to automatically turn that into an MNQ trade. And then of course you can say 1 mini equals 5 micros or 3 micros or however you want to structure that. whatever makes the most sense for you. You can flatten them individually or as a complete, all of them. You can also watch your portfolio, and this has obviously been some paper trading, but I've had a good couple of days paper trading here. But you can watch and manage all of your different accounts here. You can see your daily P&L, your realized P&L per account, unrealized if you're within a trade, it'll show you, and then total P&L for the account history. So individually and then cumulative for the course of the entire grouping of accounts. This is absolutely going to be a game changer in the world of prop trading. And while we're still in beta mode, I got to be the first to tell you, I am not the expert on this. Excuse me, obviously I'm not used to talking this much over the course of a show. I am not the expert on this platform yet. I've been beta testing it. I've been using it. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I'm super excited about the potential behind it. We've had, like I said, 2,700 beta testers in the background beating this thing up, looking for any holes. Not to mention, we actually have a CEO that is committed to creating the greatest product, which means that anytime users have suggestions or things that they'd like to see, there's a method to be able to offer that information up to Wealth Charts and see if we can get these implemented into the charting software. There's tons of indicators, proprietary indicators. There's content. There's shows that are actually done within the platform that that you can watch while you're trading. You can have this open on multiple screens and multiple windows. Since it's web-based, you can just have different tabs open on different screens as needed. And one of the things that I find really nice about this is because, like for instance, I just trade MNQ, but a lot of traders will trade multiple instruments at the same time. They'll be watching ES, NQ, maybe crude oil or something along those lines. And with TradingView, one of the struggles that I had was that only one window was tradable. So I would have to have small charts on that window if I had multiple things that I was trading, and every other window could not be attached to Tradevate. Now, I don't know if this is a universal thing or if it's just a Tradevate thing, but I know as an Apex trader, I could only trade out of one window. This is nice. This is set up. You can trade out of every window. So if you have multiple screens, each one has their full-size chart, you can trade off of each one at any given time. Excuse me. Now, one of the really cool things that we're going to be actually talking a little bit more about this. And like I said, it is in beta mode, but we are Emula. Yes. When is this going to be made public? That leads to my next announcement. We are looking at hopefully having everything ready, and I'm not going to promise because I don't have that information specifically, but I know the intent is to be able to actually launch this at Wealth 365. Now, if you're not familiar with Wealth 365, this is a summit that is done by Wealth Charts, and it's free. It's the largest online free trading summit in the world. And I'm just going to give you some stats from last year, because from the last one, which was in October, and we're going to assume that they're going to grow from here. But last year there were over 50,000 registered participants. There were over 60 speakers. They gave away over $250,000 in prizes given away. The intention is to hopefully have this launched for Wealth 365. Whether this is launched or not, this is something that you're not going to want to miss. So you will see in the chat is a link where you can register for free for this summit. I would highly recommend taking the time to go do this. It's 6 days. You don't obviously have to be logged in for every minute of every presentation. However, you can absolutely, you'll get the schedule and you can pick and choose when you want to be on there, because 6 days is going to be a tremendous amount of content. If you're available for all 6 days, go for it. Otherwise, make sure you find the speakers that are most pertinent to your style of trading. A couple of speakers I know that are going to be on there: Andrew Diaz, the modern day millionaire, Chris Benjamin, the Canadian futures traders. Those both are going to be speakers that you're going to want to watch. They're funded traders with Apex. They know the systems, they know the structures, and they're going to be sharing a lot of free information that's going to be very helpful and beneficial to you as a funded futures trader. You're definitely not going to want to miss that. So as I sort of wrap up and we're on the other side, the other end of 2024. I can't believe that it's been a year and a half since I've been doing this show. And just looking at that montage, looking at my facial hair to the clips, it's been a long year. And we've had, I think, almost 50 episodes this year of the Trader Bacon Show. We've learned a lot. We've gained some incredible wisdom from some of the traders that have been on the show. I can tell you personally, it's been absolutely inspirational in the opportunity for me to learn and grow and develop as a trader. Not so much from the content that they bring, but from the stories that they tell. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but I love a good story, and I'm always going to bring the stories in over the technical. The technical, we're not teaching anybody how to trade in 10 minutes, obviously. But I think that when you can see that there's so many different avenues to success in trading, the common denominator isn't what strategy you're using. It's not ICT or Apex Sniper or trend lines or supply and demand. That's not what is going to ultimately make a successful trader. What's going to make a successful trader is consistency. One of the gentlemen, Jason, from one of the clips made the comment, and I can so relate with this, is that every single time he'd had a really bad trade. Now, this is not a losing trade. We all have losing trades, but every time he had a really bad trade, it was because he didn't follow his own rules. And I can identify with this so much because I will tell you, I have a lot of emotional response to trading. And over and over and over, I have stated, and it's true, if I stick to my rules, it would be virtually impossible for me to blow an account. The problem is I always feel like I can make it up. I always feel like those two trades weren't it, but I still got it in me. And I don't maintain my composure. I'm getting better. I will say I have gotten so much better, which is why I've gotten to the point where I'm now funded at 250 grand, shooting for that full million, hopefully within the next couple of months, and getting that, getting those consistent payouts. But really and truly, if you have a set of rules, if you have a set of, if you have money management strategies in place that you follow consistently, it's not hard to figure out if you're going to move forward or blow an account. If you have the capacity to have successful trades on a consistent basis, if your risk to reward is such that it allows you to be positive over time, then you can calculate enough risk to where it would take 20 or 30 trades in a row to blow an account. That's really how I have mine structured. And it really simply is a process where you have to let go of the need to be right. You have to let go of the need to fix what you feel is wrong. And ultimately, this is where my focus is over the course of the next few months. And Ashu, to answer your question, how can you become a funded trader by your organization? So all you want to do is go to apextraderfunding.com, and it'll walk you through all the different account sizes and all the different account options. Make sure to use promo code Benzinga. That will always get you the best price available. There often are certain promotions and discounts. If you use promo code Benzinga, you will always get the best price available. And if you're asking how I can be funded by the organization that I work for, that is actually a separate thing. I work for the company. I do the show, but I also my trading is my own. It is my responsibility to pass evaluations. It is my responsibility to trade and follow all the rules that will lead to proper payouts. So that is no different for me than for anybody else. Jenny, some sample trading plans. I would highly recommend tuning into the show. We actually, every week, we have a guest and we highlight their different trading strategies. You can go back and watch some of the old episodes and you can see a whole bunch of different successful strategies. And one of the things that I love about doing the show this way is everything that you're seeing is a successful strategy. And I always want to tread lightly on the idea of what strategy somebody should use, because every week we highlight a different trader and a different strategy. What's important isn't so much the strategy. There are thousands of strategies that can lead to success, as been shown over the course of the last year. But the idea is to not bounce from one strategy to another. And I always want to be careful when I highlight different strategies every week on the show, because the idea is not to say you should try this strategy and then next week you should try this strategy and next week you should try this strategy. That is a mistake that a lot of traders make, myself included, as I was coming up, was trying to find that strategy that worked best for me. But what we often do is we have a bad run and we decide that the strategy is broken and we need to go find a new strategy. When really what we need to do at that point is we actually need to spend some time and refocus and clean up the strategy that we're already using. So bear that in mind, but I would highly encourage you to go back and watch some of the old episodes of the show. Just search YouTube for the Trader Bacon Show. Everything will come up. We're well over 70 episodes, maybe close to 80 episodes at this point from the beginning. And so definitely check that out. Ashu, the link itself, I don't have access to the chat, but maybe my producer can get it in there. Just apextraderfunding.com, and then use promo. There we go. And then use promo code Benzinga at checkout to make sure you get that that discount on there. So as we move forward to 2025, I want to ask you guys for a favor. I want to put together the content that you guys want to see. So I want to encourage you all. I will say the best place to communicate with me directly is on Facebook. You can find me on Facebook at The Forge Trader. You can also find my personal page, which is Gates W. Adams, as you can see on there. And feel free to message me directly. I get a ton of messages, but I do respond to all of them. So let me know what it is that you would like to see on the show. If there's anything that you feel like has been missing, or anything that you think it would be really cool to talk about with some of the other successful traders that we have on here, please bring that to me. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys are looking for, and I will be happy to do my best to make sure that we bring you what it is that you want on the show. Because at the end of the day, the only reason I get to do this is because you guys keep showing up. And I can't tell you how much it means to me that you guys keep showing up. This has been one of the most life-changing experiences for me, being able to do this show. I don't come from a background of broadcasting. Obviously, as a trader, I've had my struggles. All of these things are continuing to grow and get better and improve with time. But at the end of the day, it's you guys that make this possible. So thank you sincerely from my heart. You've made this year absolutely amazing, and I truly appreciate it. And for those of you that are still in the grind, that you're still working on getting that first payout or that first evaluation pass, wherever you happen to be, I want to share a story with you, or just an idea with you about growth and development. People always see and think they see these overnight successes. People come in and out of nowhere, all of a sudden, they're incredibly successful, whether it be trading, business, or whatever realm. And I want to assure you that overnight success does not exist. And I want you to think about an ice cube sitting in a 20-degree room. That ice cube is going to remain an ice cube. And if you actually apply energy to increase that temperature to 21 degrees, that's still going to be an ice cube. And then more energy, it's going to be at 22 degrees, it's still going to be an ice cube. And as you continue to increase that level of temperature, consider this the work that you're doing and trying to develop as a trader. Each degree, you're getting closer and closer and closer to that change of state. But until you reach 33 degrees, that's going to remain an ice cube. And then all of a sudden, it's going to start to melt. It doesn't mean that that was the piece of work that actually got you across the threshold. All of the work that you did to getting it from 20 degrees up to 32, all of that was part of the process. All of that was part of the journey. Don't ever let the journey take away what you're getting out of it and where you're growing. Look back, and I assure you, just like I've been able to this past year, you will see the areas in which you've grown, and you'll see the areas where you still need a little bit more. Focus on those areas. Put that energy there. Get that temperature to increase little by little until you get to that threshold and you cross over. Guys, thank you so much for spending your Mondays with me. This has been an incredible year for me. I hope it's been a phenomenal year for you. I know for all of us, if we stick to it, 2025 is going to be amazing. So thank you all for everything. Happy New Year. I can't wait to see you guys next Monday in 2025 on the next episode of The Trader Bacon Show. Thanks for joining the Trader Bacon Show, where we showcase everyday traders that are getting funded, paid, and bringing home the bacon. Make sure to join us next time, Mondays at 11 a.m. Eastern.